Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the Hasbro rebooted Marvel Legends Wave 2 Captain America, which is based on the Bucky cap. Not one that I'm terribly familiar, mind you. Really nice packaging on this. I like the little burst of character and everything. Decent artwork. Now he's also one of the few figures in this wave that I don't believe has a variant. Pretty much everybody else gets a variant, so I'm actually wondering why they wouldn't just toss a little something extra and just do a whole wave of variants, then do a variant Build-A-Figure, because, Arnim does have alternate parts, but hey, whatever. Once again, just sort of big comic-y packaging and stuff. No character information, but hold on a second till I'll get him out packed. Onto the actual figure himself. He actually has ankle rockers! Yay! Sort of the big draw to the revamped Marvel Legends line is that Hasbro was going to be stepping up in the articulation. We'd see ankle articulation on a regular basis. So far, haven't really delivered a ton on it, but this is sort of what a lot of fans came to expect. We were looking to see like ankle articulation like this in like every figure. Not necessarily ankle rockers, but at least some sort of foot pivot. So that's cool. Actually, the articulation on this is pretty nice all around. The sculpt, while functional, for some reason doesn't thrill me, but part of that might just be the paint. Although part of that's just I might not necessarily like the colors used for like the design of the outfit and stuff. So it's more an issue of character design than is anything else. But in particular, one area where I think that they really went weak on both the sculpt and the paint is the head sculpt here. It's just a really neutral, well, such an incredibly neutral face that, I don't know, it just has nothing resembling emotion there, and then the color that they use for the skin tone looks a little funky. It almost looks orange. It's like the guy's been hitting the beach too often or something. The other sort of interesting thing is the plastic itself feels a little bit cheaper as compared to other stuff that they previously did. You can definitely get a lot of flex here on the knee, same with the other one, which is a little disturbing, just in terms of stability and all that. Worry that things might pop out eventually. So it looks like it could possibly just pop off the pin. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Otherwise, I just absolutely love the paint used for the upper torso here. It's bright, it pops, the sort of sheen it has is really cool. I mean, it's just like the lower body and stuff where they opted for the blacks. It looks like it's just cast from solid plastic for the legs here. For the boots, it looks like it might have additional color, or this might just because they added more gloss to it. Though I'm not sure why they made the boots all shiny, but if you look here, you'll notice that it's got a lot more texture and detail to it, which is cool. Although, the legs and arms are sculpted okay and all that. Something about this just doesn't sort of thrill me for whatever reason. The gloves, of course, are kind of sculpted. You do have an unpainted pin here, or what do you call that? Sort of ball and socket, I guess. In terms of height, let's just bring in the first appearance of Spider-Man again. Now, offhand, I'm assuming that this won't be as tall as your sort of normal Captain America figure, which I guess is probably supposed to be the case because it's based on the Bucky cap. I think the Bucky cap is shorter. But yeah, he's still taller than Spider-Man, which, is kind of cool. Just imagine a lot of characters are taller than Spider-Man. One thing that a lot of people were excited for was the fact that they popped in a sort of peg hole in the back here, which means you can use the character with a flight stand, which I guess will be pretty cool if they do this more often going forward, and possibly even include a flight stand in the future. If you remember, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends did have flight stands for a few waves at least, so you also still have the peg holes in the bottom of the boots. Now, in terms of articulation, the sort of major drawback is the fact they opted to not have a movable belt. They generally do have like separate belts and stuff, but for whatever reason, actually it's not even a belt at all. They just sculpted the pouches and holsters and crap right onto the lower torso. I wonder how that even stays on in costume, but yeah. Kind of weird though, because you expect to see some semblance of the belts. But as a result, it means you can't get as much outward motion as you'd like because it starts to bend the weapons and stuff. Especially if you've got the weapon in there, because then you risk destroying the weapon as well. But look at this here, kind of really bending the sheath or whatever. So, you know, it sort of limits the posability on that front, which kind of sucks. But thanks to the ankle rockers, the fact that you also have a cut here at the calf, at the boot, which, you know, again is a natural point of articulation, you know, you can still get them in plenty of poses. I do wish they'd start doing our alternate parts with these figures. Like, I'd love to be able to just give Cap here fists, so you can actually depict him as punching a character, because, you know, these aren't punching hands. I don't know what kind of hands these are. Maybe they're scratching hands. So Captain America was going to scratch somebody to fight, yeah, that would work. Otherwise, not really. Of course, it's not an issue on the arm that you have the shield, and the fact that they're open means that you can actually pose him as he's going to throw the shield. This just sort of pops into here, although you could kind of do it either way. Which again, you know, is neat, but I just wish they'd done something for an alternate. One thing I did neglect to mention about the shield is that you can also just peg it into his back, courtesy of that peg hole. Which, you know, is kind of a common sense thing that I didn't pick up on immediately, but yeah, it's also available. Now, in terms of articulation, both the holsters here are usable. Knife for one, gun for other, just again, depending on how the leg moves out, it can actually break the weapon, so if you're going to be moving the figure, take the weapon out first. That's kind of par for the course. Here at the wrists, we have rotation in addition to forward back, decent range of motion, just restricted by the little bands or something. A double pin here at the elbows, rotation at bicep, ball jointed shoulders, good range of motion. Head is on that sort of, I guess, something similar to a, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's got kind of a socket thing going on, but yeah. Can't seem to get much sideways motion though. Like some of the stuff they've done recently has had sideways motion, but yeah. Ab crunch here, good range. Rotation at waist. Legs again. It's got sort of a ball jointed motion up there, then point of rotation at the upper thigh, double joint here at the knee, point here at the calf slash boot, then down at the ankle, forward back, then the rocker effect, which kind of replaces the rotation, so rather than be able to rotate it, get this motion, but again, this part makes up for it. All around, I do like this figure a lot, probably one of my favorites of the relaunched wave. I just don't like the face and the face paint they used. Also, the sort of cheap black unpainted plastic does stand out. It's kind of crappy, but you know, you are seeing more detail in the costume. Look for these boots here, they've got texturing. I don't know, it just seems like they've ramped up the quality in some areas, but you know, Hasbro does need to sort of step up their game in others. But this has been a look at the Bucky Cap, or I guess just Captain America, from Wave 2 of the revamped Marvel Legends line. Till next time, folks.